Think outside your tribe.
Why do some people seem incapable of thinking for themselves? Why are some people so politically polarized that the very ideas they hold so dear work against their interests and hold them down? And why do some people blindly follow their religion, even when deep down inside they get the funny feeling that what they're being taught is utterly false? Besides the fact that no one is born knowing anything, our human species is tribal and territorial by nature. For hundreds of thousands of years, we evolved as social creatures that survived in groups through hunting and gathering. Life itself left our ancestors with limited choices on how to survive, given all the merciless threats they were prey to: larger animals, unforgiving weather, random illnesses, and a whole host of dangers that relentlessly plagued their existence. That's how people found safety in numbers, through tribes. People were rewarded with food, shelter, friendship, rudimentary healthcare, and education whenever they helped their tribe in one form or another. And those who didn't stray too far from the group, those who were quicker to conform to the tribe, those personality types would survive, mate and procreate with others, and pass on their genes. But any solo hunters or people who would wander off on their own would risk getting lost and killed when they found themselves isolated from the group. People with independent, adventurous personalities did not pass on their genes as widely as people who were more communal, risk-averse, and ultimately conformist. This in turn led to the majority of humanity's brainpower to be hardwired for seeking easy answers and rewarded with the comfort of social acceptance and certainty of survival, as opposed to learning how to deal with discomfort and embracing uncertainty by taking the time to think problems through and reaching a deeper understanding of reality. And one easy answer that has become a national mantra, at least in the United States, is that we're all created equal under the eyes of God. But the painful truth is that, number one, there is no evidence for God, though there is plenty of evidence for the fabrication of many gods by ancient tribes. And painful truth number two, not all people are born with equal physical and mental attributes, let alone social status. Fairness is a human construct, a luxury of sorts, that is not inherent to nature. Therefore, some people are born stronger, smarter, and more ambitious than others. And many times, these stronger, smarter, more ambitious people will take on and even usurp leadership roles. And some of these leaders have no problem setting rules and standards for others to follow as long as it keeps them in power, especially absolute power. And amazingly enough, the majority of people will follow them, and blindly so. But there's a logical reason for this: fear. The fear of being ostracized from the group, especially when it's a city-state that is providing them with food, shelter, healthcare, and overall safety and certainty of survival. This is why entire nations will fall prey to dictatorships, where only a small group of men, and they're almost always men, will manage to remain in power over millions for decades while committing atrocious crimes against their own people, while others will laud and applaud them. Some will even make excuses for their obvious crimes against humanity through moral relativism and false equivalences. And this phenomenon is achieved thanks to political and religious ideologies. And sometimes those ideologies function like a mental virus, which has the power to transform and even transcend nations. Entire generations of people evolve under these bad ideas, and they become almost an ethnicity of their own, as has been the case with some of the world's major religions. Add to that mix the human propensity to be driven by our emotions rather than rational thought, and it's really no wonder why we have all the problems we have in society, and how so many people are almost incapable of independent thought. Which is why some of our worst instincts persist in the form of wars, slavery, rape, racism, misogyny, and the most unconscionable crime against humanity, genocide. This is why it is critical to think outside our tribes, particularly when they're dead wrong about certain issues. And thanks to the brave people who thought outside their tribes, we have enjoyed some of the greatest innovations to civilization: political revolutions, scientific breakthroughs, and artistic and athletic achievements that have inspired others to make the most of their own potential and lives. So please, for the sake of the human species, learn to think for yourself, especially when you see what's going on around you is wrong, even if it happens to be family, friends, neighbors, or co-workers. Particularly when it comes to obvious violent criminal behavior, dysfunctional family life and child abuse, scientific illiteracy, and an overall apathy for self-improvement. Learn to solve problems by seeing them as a challenge which can be achieved through reason and logic as opposed to religion and superstition. Learn to make the most out of your life. Learn to think outside your tribe. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please share it or hit the like button, or subscribe and click the bell to be notified of upcoming videos. And if you'd like to support this channel, please consider buying a t-shirt or some merchandise in the links below, or by monthly subscription via Patreon for as little as $1, or a simple one-time donation at paypal.me/homegrown.